bringing it to the net.
Hi again. Welcome to another installment of Bringing It to the Net. I am, as always, Danny Harrington. Recently, there was a new member that came on board to Bringing It to the Net. His name was Josh Brenderville. And he did a blog on music. And he asked the question, when the word music is mentioned, what pops into your head? In other words, what pops into my head? Because he was talking to the camera at the time. And I went to do a response to that, and that's what this blog is. When the word music is mentioned, a lot of things pop into my head. I mean, you could do an hour blog on music. You could do hundreds and hundreds of pages, written pages on music. You don't know where to stop with music. Music is endless. But there was a few points that I jotted down on my laptop over here when I was watching the video. One of them was Josh mentioned about music bringing people together. I agree with that 100%. Very first music concert I ever attended was for my 18th birthday. It was Iron Maiden in the RDS. And the amount of different people I saw there that you wouldn't think would normally get on was just brilliant. And believe it or not, I felt safer in the crowd at Iron Maiden than I would have walking down the street of this city, Limerick. Because I fell over and somebody shouted, "There's someone down," and 4 people around me stopped moving until I got back up. So I really, really, really liked that concert, and I do agree 100% about music bringing people together. Another thing I wrote down is Josh mentioned that he gets a storyboard of his life every time he listens to a song. This is my response to that one. I agree with that 100% too, but with me it tends to be albums. In Christmas of 2006, I bought Fly on the Wall by AC/DC. And anytime I listen to that album, I feel like I felt when I first heard it. If I was depressed at the time over something, that's what I feel again. Not as intensely, but it just triggers an emotion as to how I felt at the time when I listened to that album. And that goes across the board. I mean, when I first did my first FOSS course, I was listening to, say, anything, Michael Jackson's The Best Of, the number ones. And anytime I listen to that album again, it reminds me of being back at the FOSS course at that time. Music is just, the power of music is unnatural. You could go on about this forever. I mean, there was another time when, it was the very first time I actually think I made my girlfriend gobsmacked when I got up and sang Sledgehammer in the karaoke. Nothing big. It was big at the time for me because it was something I'd never done, but her and her friend were just gobsmacked. So music is daring in a way as well. Also, albums to me some albums open the power of what music really can be. You can be humorous with music, as I discovered when I started listening to Weird Al Yankovic. You can be deep and meaningful about with music, as I've heard with the Iron Maiden's A Matter of Life and Death album. Now, I also saw Iron Maiden in what was the RDS in Dublin during the A Matter of Life and... not the RDS, sorry, the Point Theatre in Dublin during what was the A Matter of Life and Death tour, and I was not impressed. But that was because I just bought the album a few days previous to the concert. It grew on me over time, big time. It's one of the defining albums of my life. It's one of the ones that would be a marker in my life. If Josh mentioned the storyboard, well, I would go with, say, the first AC/DC album I listened to. I can't really remember what it was. That was definitely a marker in my life. Actually, that wasn't so much album, was it? It was the Stiff Upper Lip concert DVD. I watched that and listened to it, and trust me when I tell you, if anyone knows me about the band AC/DC, that was a big defining moment in my life, discovering that band that way. And then the real, no offense to AC/DC, but they just they're a fantastic band, but they don't write deep music. Deep music. I was introduced to that when I discovered Iron Maiden's A Matter of Life, and that was another milestone in my life. And then after that, Weird Al Yankovic. I wasn't given an album of his per se, I was just given a selection of his music. That taught me humour. And then I'd mentioned Green Day's American Idiot before Weird Al and after Iron Maiden in there, definitely. That taught me opera music. You know, there's rock operas in there. I would definitely have to throw in as well R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet, because that I only saw that for the first time there last year, and it's just unnatural how music can just be not so much dragged out like that, but tell a story in different ways. It's so versatile in every way. It's what you make it. No one can tell you how to do it. New genres are popping up every day. I mean, I'd have to mention actually as well Dean Gray's American Edit, which was an unofficial album, but it was the first mash-up album I ever heard. That would have been before Weird Al, after Green Day's American Idiot. It's the first mashup album I ever heard. It was introduced me to that. But no one can tell you what music is to you. You have to find it. Everyone has their own tastes, and I appreciate all music across the board. You have to appreciate it on some level. You might hate it. You might hate it with a passion, but you have to appreciate it for the art that it is. You want to get in contact with this show? Email bringingittothenet@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm Danny Harrington, and I'll be seeing you. Thank you once again for watching.